Hello world, check your mailbox for the R&R podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of R&R Does Stuff. Here we are to talk about what came in the mail, and is there a computer there, or is the computer sending it? I don't know. We're going to find out. How are you doing this evening, Rich?
Ryan, I'm doing great because you are a master packer.
I am?
To say, you're a master packer. And
Excellent.
Dear listener, I think, did we talk about you finding the SX64 on the podcast? We didn't, did we?
I don't think I don't think so.
Okay, well, hold on. Let me hold on. I got to just, hold on, everyone. Let me just do retro area, box fix, blah, blah, blah.
We may have mentioned it or alluded to it earlier because you can, like what did I buy? I think was in our last episode, and it was So we talked a little bit.
It did. Okay, everyone. It showed up. I got an SX64, and it's beautiful. I actually like the replacement keyboard cable I bought versus maybe the original one that came with it that's big and chunky. The little replacement one just slips in there and goes, and slips on the back and goes. It's just such a nice fit. The keyboard's working, the disk drive is working, the sound is working, the cartridge port is working, the ports for the joysticks are working. Ryan,
That's awesome.
For $50 more and shipping, whatever that shipping was not ungodly, but it was shipping. It's a full working SX64, bro. So I'm marking it off the list. Another goal achieved on the list of Commodores to get a hold of. And I have a backup one. I got a backup one with backup boards. I got a backup one with backup this. It has a sound issue still, but it's a backup. And that one is working with its keyboard that I hodgepodged out of a Commodore 64 keyboard. So, dude, all is right in the world. Now, by the way, everyone, I made that video, and it'll be dropping someday on my channel on YouTube if you wanted to get a visual exploration of what I'm calling the Ryan SX64.
Nice. No, that was a good thing. It was a good ship. We seem to be finding stuff on other sides of the country and mailing them back and forth. It's really kind of funny.
Why can't I find things like my place cheap? And why can't you find things for your place cheap? But Larry would be very proud of you. You wrapped that so good. It was, folks, he wrapped it in tape to where if it got wet, it wasn't going in the box. That's how good of a job he did.
Yeah, I wanted nothing bad to happen to it. It looked really good. I'm glad it got there. I'm glad you're using it. I'm glad you got to mark it off the list.
Yeah.
I have a challenge for you, though. I want you to get the sound working on that other one.
Yes. The other one has gone back to the shelf for a while, but It is definitely going to. I am going to watch more videos on the keyboard for the SX64 and then work on some of its keys that are a little jink. They're just not. By the way, with the new keyboard cable, I'm having great results, but there's still 3 or 4 that are just a little hard press, double press. So I need to watch more videos because, Ryan, as you know from your membrane work, this is not hack around rich time. I need to be like a finessed, sharp, surgical instrument like Ryan when I do this work.
Yeah, you don't want to mess it up. You want to see what's really going on. It's probably something silly, they're 40-year-old computers, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you have a teacher that could help you?
I did get a new teacher this week. How did you know? You're my mentors for the keyboard will be the YouTube. But I think I reported back here that I finished the Commodore 64 text adventure book. Great. It was awesome. You got all the code, and then they did blocks of code and explanations. So it was a teaching book. And then I found that basic manual, that basic programming textbook from like 1967 that I went through that was great.
Right,
and then I started on another programming book to learn some of the techniques in it. Dude, it's just text blocks, bro. It's just big blocks of put in your code, run your code with a general description. I just wasn't feeling, I put it to the side. I wasn't feeling the same love. And last week, I saw an article about replacing teachers with AI. Now, I think that's a stupid idea, but That's what I saw an article for kids. AI is a better teacher for kids than teachers, right? It was just something like that, BuzzFeed, something, right? We use AWS Bedrock and Anthropic and all those things here at work. And I don't touch them. I'm a sales engineer. The smart people touch them. So I went to Claude and I said, hey, Claude, do you know C64 programming? And Claude said, fuck yeah, I know C64 programming. What do you want to do? And I said, well, hey, why don't you first tell me about data arrays? And we started having a conversation. Claude's teaching me. That's my new teacher, Ryan. Claude is going to help me make my next text adventure, which I'm calling Haunted House. I mean, come on, it's going to be lame. And I'm going to get it up on my GitHub. And dear listener, if anybody wants to play my first text adventure and look at the code, it's all up on my GitHub. And Ryan is a surprise guest in there. So if you do download it, you can play it, and you can run into Ryan during your adventures of Voyager's first launch.
I like it. I like that you're sharing it. I'm liking it. It's out there. I'll be very interested to see where you go with it. Because you get the creative design of like, this is what I want to do, and then get, AI to help you out, make that happen.
Yeah.
That'll be very.
There's some things that I got from the book I feel very comfortable with, but there's other things I didn't feel comfortable with, like these data arrays and moving from room to room. And I think Claude's going to help me bridge that gap. But I'll report in further episodes how Claude and I do writing a text adventure for the Commodore 64. Have you been programming lately? Because you've been doing some cool stuff, Ryan.
Well, I have been a little bit, and I'm, I know we've mentioned it before, working on a program I'm just calling A-Mail for Amiga Mail. And I've got it to the point now where I'm talking to a local IMAP server, local SMTP server, and I can send myself email and get email from it. I have been doing a little bit of AI, playing around with it as well, using an open source package called Tabby.
Oh my gosh, this is weird. We did not plan this. This just we put prompts in, folks, and those prompts say, I got a new teacher, or this or that. I had no idea Ryan was also doing this to kind of learn and get ideas. Go on, buddy. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. So Tabby is a open source product. I have it running on my MacBook. I have an M1 MacBook. So it'll run off in the back end, and Visual Studio Code will actually talk to it. And as I'm typing along, it knows some things and will actually say, hey, do you want to write a block of code like this? And it's grabbing some values out of my code itself. Like, oh, this is, like what you did for the email thing. And it's like, I'll put it in there, and you could accept it or reject it. It's running around 30 to 40% for what I actually wanted to do. It's kind of neat. And it has a little web interface I can bring up locally, and it'll tell me, like, how much did I accept? How much did I not accept? And you get a couple different models to pick from, and I'm using a programming one. So they have some there that they're already pre-trained, and they'll actually run on certain level machines. My machine, my MacBook's got 32 gig of RAM. It just out there and runs. I think it's using like 6 gig, something of that nature. So it's not too bad. So I'm just been playing around with it to get a little smarter with some of this generative AI stuff and to see how it all works. And sometimes I have it on, sometimes I have it off, but it works it integrates really nicely with Visual Studio Code, which is what I'm running A-Mail on. It's all written in C. So I'll build it in Visual Studio Code, compile it with VBCC, and it sends it over to my Amiga share, and then I can run it inside of an Amiga emulator right now to actually start up my Amiga Mail application. And there is a link of some initial stuff, we'll put it in the show notes, of my YouTube channel.
Yay! Ryan has jumped the bridge, and he's now on YouTube.
There is, yep, it's there. I think I have like 2 videos now for the email thing. I have a couple older stuff from like years ago for various different projects. But it's there. It's been interesting. This one's a little 4-minute clip-ish of me just like showing off what this thing looks like using Amiga DOS 3.2. Looking at right now, been playing around with an AMI SSL to get the encryption piece to work so I can talk to a modern IMAP server, which is my goal. Is to talk to a modern IMAP and SMTP server with encryption And this could be a potentially daily driver email client. Not a lot of bells and whistles. Right now, it's proof of concept. Make sure it actually works. But this is turning into my pet project at this point.
Wow. Okay, the SSL portion.
Mhm.
Would this be like the first time anyone's gotten an Amiga email package to work with SSL IMAP servers?
Anything modern looks like there are two other email clients out there that look abandonware at this point. One of them's Yam. It never did IMAP. It had some POP3 in it.
Okay.
Simple Mail had some basic IMAP in it, but it was using an older version of AMI SSL and was using a different TCP/IP stack. I've looked at both of them and played around with both of them myself. My skill set's just not there yet. I could not dive into their code base and figure out what needed to change from earlier versions of AMI SSL. I think they compile one that relates to OpenSSL 0.9, I think. So in the current AMI SSL I'm using is version 5, which relates to OpenSSL 3.5, which is the latest.
Okay,
so
that's cool.
Someone's actually taking the OpenSSL, wrapping it into AMI SSL. They're releasing the AMI SSL part for free and then pushing that out, and then I can link against it. The same guys that are doing that also do iBrowse, which is a browser, a modernish browser, has older JavaScript, so don't look for it. Doesn't do CSS, but it works. And I played around with the mobile, like m.cnn.com, which is all just text, or Hacker News comes up really well. So stuff that's using more basic things, not a ton of, not a ton of other things.
You're not going to your bank.
Probably not. I have not tried that yet.
Yeah.
Because it does SSL. It's encrypted.
Oh, that's true. That's true. It is just SSL. So if I were to re-say that for all the audience that are smart like me or smart like me, not smart like you, you would say, at this time with your research, when this is done, it will be the only Amiga email package working at the current SSL levels.
Correct. Yeah, I couldn't get Simple Mail to run, or it would come up. I couldn't get it to connect to thing. So I kind of just backed away. I think that Simple Mail or Yam is going to do a lot more than what I did or would have at the time. I'm just starting over, and this is my learning opportunity to get smarter and try to integrate things in a little bit at a time. I can't matrix plug in to get this knowledge.
Well, if anybody knows of another package that's out there, just go down to the comments. Be sure to click like first. Go down to the comments and just write in there, hey, Ryan, go check out this one also, so we can expand our knowledge, because that's going to be a really cool thing. And Ryan, I know you're going to get to that. You're going to get this done, dude. You're going to get across the finish line. You're going to get a touchdown. You're going to get a 3-point shot. I know it's going to come together. I have faith.
Yeah, and weirdly enough, I've put a goal of my own in to have it done by, or have a releasable version with just some basic functionality by no later than early to mid-October.
Oh, good.
There is an Amiga tools competition, going on right now. It's called Amy Tools. We'll put a link to it in the bottom. And it's just hey, if there's new tools coming out and you want to share them with the Amiga community, some people have thrown in some money and there's some prizes for it as well. I don't care if I win or lose. I just want to submit it, and that's my own personal goal. This is, hey, I can go connect. I can get email. I can send basic email. I don't have folders working, so you're just getting stuff out of the top level of your inbox right now. So if you put stuff in folders, I don't deal with those at this point. That's a future problem. I'm just looking for basic, hey, I can send an email, I can get an email. So I'm really looking forward to that.
And I made a joke about like and subscribe and comment. Ryan, do you want to tell everybody? I usually make that joke. Listeners who have been listening for a while, Larry, that's you. you know that I always say like and subscribe, but it kind of has a new meaning now, doesn't it, Ryan?
A little bit. You've had your YouTube channel for a while. I've actually just started putting some content that actually interests people, and we've put all of our episodes on YouTube. No video, but you can listen to us on YouTube now. And as new episodes show up, they will be updated on YouTube as well. So you can find us not only in your favorite podcast app, like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, however you're listening. It'll also be available to you via YouTube, and we'll put a link to that in here as well.
Well, it's kind of a big YouTube-ish moment. I mean, you got a channel you're starting up. We've got a channel where we're moving all this. And listeners, I am so excited. I kind of want to hear someone say something about us in the descriptions, like, oh, hey, check this out. Oh, hey, here's new information for what you just did. I'm hoping that expands even our knowledge of the things that we like and the things that we've researched and what we learn about. So I'm looking forward to it. Thanks. And by the way, Ryan, thanks for doing the heavy lifting on that. Ryan's actually kind of making all that come together for us.
Yeah, we distribute our activities. I make you do all the editing, and then I post it around to other places.
So
it's pretty cool.
If the editing's bad, you can just call me out. Don't worry. Just do @HighShelfReg and call me out. And I'll learn too to be a better editor along those lines. Now, speaking of people interfacing with us and doing things, which I'm excited about, what else has happened, Ryan? What else wrapped up for you?
Well, I held it'll be my third local meetup here in Northern Virginia for vintage computers. That just wrapped up here recently, in the last couple of weeks as of this recording, and had I had 19 people do the sign up. I think, again, we were in the, low to mid 30s people that actually showed up. So there's always that. It was great. A lot of different machines were there. I know my buddy Ethan brought an Amiga 3000 UX that actually had Amix on it, which is Amiga Unix, and it dual boots into Amiga DOS, which was pretty cool. Happy to me. Our buddy John, or the Industrious Rabbit, he had his Amiga 1200 down there with like a third-party mechanical keyboard that looked really nice, and brought a Spark 5 down as well.
Wow.
I think it was an Ultra 5, where they were networked together, and he was doing stuff with that. There's so many other machines. I know there was a guy, he had one of those replica machines like you did, like you have behind you, that, yes, not that anyone can see that, but some of the replica older boxes with the LEDs, like an MSI or an Altair, and he had just doing some basic counting up to it, doing binary counting on it with all the LEDs. That was really, really cool. There was some, pretty sure there's a lot of Japanese PCs, MSXs. Oh yeah,
dude, you are turning into a mini festival.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there was somebody else had their own SX64 was there as well. And I know I've missed stuff. I haven't done my write-up yet and posted my write-up blog entry yet, but it has been amazing. I love the support. I love, hanging out with everybody, meeting and learning so much and seeing a lot about different machines. I've gotten over the computer wars. So on my table, I took my Amiga 600 we found in the, who knows where, the storage sheds of Texas.
Texas barn find.
The Texas barn find. And I shared a table with an Atari ST of all things. I know. 40 years ago, that probably would have been sacrilege. Today, we're all just getting along. Yeah. We're all having a good time. I also finally did my blog entry for my A600. We'll put that in here as well. So if you want to go see all the stuff I had to do to fix that thing and get it up and running and make it so much cleaner, it's unreal. We'll be doing that as well. Yeah,
okay, I got a question. When you do this, obviously, it's a bunch of old dudes in a room with a bunch of old computers, right? Do people from the library sneak in and is someone walking around with their kids, or is someone in the library and they go, hey, what are you doing in here? Do you ever get any random visitors?
We did, not I'm pretty sure there was at least one this time. I know in the past some random kids came by and someone had what did they have? A Pentium 3, I think. And they gave it. It was like the free Piley thing, and they gave them to the kids after spending an hour or so talking with them about the older computers and how they worked. And
That's cool.
We're not allowed to buy or sell anything.
Right.
It's library property, but we do have been doing a free pile with obvious stipulations. If you brought it and it doesn't, and you're leaving and your thing hasn't disappeared from the free table, you kind of need to take it with you. I don't want to be in the game of ending up with all this stuff at the end. But that's been pretty successful, and a lot of stuff has come and gone, surprisingly. So that was pretty cool. Like I picked up another, I haven't tried it yet, but a USB 100 meg zip drive.
Oh, wow. Very cool. Man, you just can't get enough zip drives.
I have a problem with zip drives, apparently, and I don't know why. But I do.
That's got to be like half a dozen by now.
I have over a dozen at this point.
Oh my gosh!
Different drives. Yeah, a lot of SCSIs. Most of them are SCSIs. Well, but yeah, it was a good time. I really enjoyed it. I'm really glad people came out, and I'm really, hopefully one or two of them listen to it here and or more. And yeah, we'll do the next one probably fallish. I have not scheduled a date or anything for it, but it's coming along.
Request in. And for those out on the East Coast around Herndon, Virginia, DC area, there will be a link to go check that out if you wanted to go meet Ryan in person and see some of the other things that are going on. It sounds like it's a really fun time. And one of my visits, I almost need a time of visit while you're having a meetup planned to join you at your meetup live. And so maybe one of my work trips will get me out there and maybe it'll coordinate or all the Venn diagrams will align. Well, I don't know. Let's hope. Let's see if that goes that way. And
it's possible. You never know. Well, you had an adventure. I know you're trying to repurpose an older computer.
Oh yeah.
What are you doing?
Okay.
So what do you have, and what are you trying to make it do, and did it do it, and what's going on?
It's not retro. It's a 2017 MacBook, and I think I talked in our last conversation or two. I had to retire it and bring in a new PC. I did that. I retired it. I did buy a new PC. Sorry, all my Mac friends. I just money-wise, I got this thing for under $500, Ryan. You better not ever drop it because it's gonna shatter, and the speaker on it is like a Arduino speaker. You know what I mean? It is, but it has memory, it has horsepower, and it has a video card. And that's what I needed for recording. So I took the old MacBook, and it's running really sluggish and blah, blah, blah. And I said, I'm going to make it into a Linux box. And so I did. And I tried a couple flavors of Linux, and I was having problems with overlay, and I got the overlay fixed. And I was having a problem with sound, and I was having a problem with the network driver, and I got the sound driver going, but I could never stabilize my NIC card inside there. I just don't have enough chops. And those were the first three things I found wrong, Ryan. There could have been three more. I went back to Mac. So the project's over. I'm back to Mac on my old MacBook. It is at least a fresh load, and it runs like a fresh load, and it's basically now for checking the web and doing my taxes, and until the OS is out of date, which I'm sure that's going to come pretty soon. 2017, 2019? I think it's 2017. Maybe I had to look it up so many times, dude. I can't believe I don't remember. But the project did not go as strongly as I suspected. I'm just not a Linux man.
That's fair. If you're not, it takes a little bit to get used to it. It's not the Mac UI is pretty sweet. It's I'd say it's on par with like a Windows box, really. Just for being able to anyone click on things or do whatever. Linux, there's just more going on there. Generally, it's just kind of how it is.
Dude, terminal, so much terminal work, man. It's so much, get at this, so you can get to this, and you can download from this repo or whatever. Maybe I didn't even say that word right. Download from a repo.
You did.
Okay. But you got to do so many edits. I did learn a lot while I was doing it, but I just felt it wasn't sustainable. And when I couldn't get the NIC card to stabilize, that's when I said, I think I need to go back. So I wasted a lot of time on that. So that took away from a lot of my retro projects, which means now I have more time this weekend to work on more retro projects.
There you go. Love it. Love it. So that's been our adventure. We've had a lot of stuff in the mail. We've got computers mailing things to each other, which is great. So, the mail is super important to us.
Yes. Thank you, Larry, for your time with the USPS.
We appreciate it. Well, do you have anything else for us?
No, thanks everybody for hanging out this long, and we'll be back next time with maybe a little bit different flavor of an episode. But hang tight, it's coming.
It's coming. Take care, all.
Bye.